What up, 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 what up? Yo, I still got the what ups, D. The what ups are still in the building. Okay, all right. That should be a sign we're still in effect and we're going to have a good show as always. But what up is in the house. It is Don, it is Rod, it is Brooklyn Beard, the Ball Sports Show. We in the house. I know it's been a while, America. We are so sorry for the delay. It's been so much going on, but y'all know we love sports. We talk sports. Shout out to my boy, my co-host, Don, who's been keeping us active and just keeping us live throughout these last several weeks. It feels like months now, but you know what, though? We are back in the building. So much to talk about. We got NBA playoffs. We got the NFL draft. We're going to talk a little Caitlin Clark and the shoe deal and a couple other stuff. Y'all know how we do. We kind of get into it, but we love sports, and that's what we're here to talk about. But before we get into all these great topics today, we need y'all to do us a favor. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share. If you're on YouTube, go ahead, hit that notification button so you know when we're popping and we're on. And then also, if you're on Facebook, come on and share that stream for us, guys, all right? Y'all go ahead and comment and put your little things in there, emojis, whatever you got to do. Help us push these algorithms, man. And yo, we're just excited to be back to finally do a show in a good while. Shout out to Scrap as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us, but for the next show, he will be rocking it. You know, and then of course he's got some comments and some opinions about the NFL draft. Of course, him and the Philadelphia Feebles. But you know what? We'll get to him when he comes on back. But shout out to Scrap. We know you out there, boy. Do your thing. Coach Scrap in the building. But Big D, you here, man? What's up, sir?
It's all good, man. I'm so excited to talk to you about your main teams. I want to talk to you about the Lakers. I mean, we text all the time about the Lakers, but I want the people to know what you feel about the Lakers and LeBron and Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham.
I got some thoughts. Yeah, I have
some. And of course, the Cowboys. This is their all-in offseason. There is talk that they are supposed to sign Zeke Elliott again.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I think they're finalizing it, so that might be a bombshell. And, you know, I mean, I know the draft's going on. You got all these young players, you know, for cheap, vibrant players, but you know, maybe sometimes you gotta.
Well, you know, we gotta make a little splash.
Spin the block. You gotta spin the block.
You gotta spin the block and come back around, and you know, and realize, you know, what you had probably wasn't as bad as you thought.
Right.
Right. You look at what you got now, right? So, but I got some comments on that too, man. Some thoughts on that, man. It's
cool. We got a lot to talk about, man. We'll do it in a very concise way, but without further ado,
we will.
Let's get into it. Okay, listen. NBA playoffs. This is very exciting. Now, I know that, as you mentioned, Scrap's not going to be here, but I know he would love this topic.
Right.
And your brother too. He's a huge Knicks
fan. Oh yeah, Knicks fan.
And of course, Scrap is a Philadelphia all teams fan. But you got to say this. If we're honest about, we'll start with the 76ers and the Knicks.
Sure.
If we're honest about that series,
the
Knicks should be down 2-1. Honestly speaking, maybe down 3-0. They're in every game that ultimately, now there are execution issues, right? The timeout from the coach and, you know, inbounding the ball in the corner, things that we normally you wouldn't do, right?
Right.
But when you think about how the 76ers have played, now let's be honest. If Embiid was 100%, the Knicks are getting swept. He is playing on one leg.
Yeah.
Embiid already likes to fall every 3 plays. But we know that he's injured. Not to mention he has Bell's palsy.
Right.
It was an announcer, he had made one of his, of course, he has a quota. He has to fall 10 times a game. I think that's in his contract. He fell and was blinking. One eye was blinking, the other one wasn't. And that's like, I mean, that takes, but it was like, it was noticeable.
Yeah, it was.
And so he was diagnosed with Bell's palsy. That's not something that's a permanent thing. But at the end of the day, to deal with that, be on one leg, clearly he's not himself, right?
No, he's not.
And each game, it's come down to the wire. It's been a play here, a play there that has, or a bad call or something like that has impacted the game. I know Knicks fans are feeling good about themselves, but
Yeah.
they're a few pieces away from really being a team that is gonna, maybe by default they ultimately get there because Embiid, it's really Embiid and Maxey.
Right.
They need like that third person to actually assist. Because I'll say this: the Knicks do have a good team. They have scrappy players,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
they have some fortunate calls. So I think we should learn. Or long story short, we shouldn't be high on the Knicks, and we shouldn't be low on the 76ers. Remember, Embiid, after losing. After the bad, he follows that up by dropping 50 points on them and winning a pretty much convincing game. Yeah, there was some frustration. There was some kind of Draymond Greenish actions.
Yeah.
Pulling legs and
he
hitting
should have
people.
He should have got ejected for that, though. That's just my opinion. But yeah,
he should have. But you got to think about, did the refs jack up game 2? Sometimes you get, not every call that you get is some
and they weren't going to let them go down 3-0 either, because if they lose Embiid there, and the league is not going to have that either. But you're right, it was most likely a makeup call from game 2. I agree.
And they usually don't want major players and major teams to go down 3-0. Now, explain the Lakers, insert the Lakers and insert the Suns. Right?
Yeah.
Because some things are just out of your control.
Yeah,
I mean, just
they just getting beat so bad. It's like the refs can't help you. You got to keep it close if you need the refs help.
right.
That's in their contract, right?
So, what do you say about the Knicks 76ers?
No, I agree with you, D, on that. I think the game 2, as we noticed, the most controversial game with the fouls and stuff like that. Although I felt Maxey had an opportunity to control the ball, but was it a foul? Yes, it was. The whole sequence was just erratic. It was crazy to get 2 opportunities for DiVincenzo, then obviously he knocks it down. I thought they should have called a timeout if you're the Sixers, as you alluded to before. There's some, execution issues there that wasn't smart on the Sixers' part either. So, again, we see this all the time in playoff basketball, and this is where you don't want to be. What up, Scrap? What's good, bro? We don't want to look at the refs to be the thing. Like, I mean, there was some questionable calls, and I felt in the game 2, the Lakers series, right? I know we'll get into that as well. I mean, D-Lo got his whole face rearranged, and they was like, well, it wasn't, I can't even remember the term that they used. It wasn't malicious or something they said. In fact, they took the whole foul away. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. But anyway, but the Sixers, you're right, D. I mean, if you're the Knicks, you got to be concerned that Embiid, who's now starting to really get back into some basketball stamina now, right? He's getting back into some basketball flow, but you can see that he's still injured. But the thing is with the Knicks for this series, it's clear. Brunson cannot be Brunson if they're going to win this series. He can't overshoot. He's shooting the ball way too much. 27 shots in this third game here. He was trying to force the issue because he didn't shoot well the first 2 games. You got to let these other guys ball. Let these other guys, your DiVincenzo's, your Harts, your Deuce McBrides, what I'm saying, your OGs. Let these other guys play well and let them get their shots. They was actually very efficient in game 3. And it seemed like every time the Sixers go up by 12 points or whatever it was, boom, here come the Knicks. Cut it right. I mean, they'll cut it back to 5 just that quick. So because of the other guys and how they were playing the ball and they were shooting very, very efficient. So if you're the Knicks, that's what you got to do. Yeah, you tuned in just in time, sir. You know what I'm saying? They gave Brunson and ones, and when nobody touched him to get back into the game. Well, yeah, I mean, look, Brunson is earning a little bit of cachet now. You know what I mean? He's an all-star. He is the best player on the Knicks right now. So he's going to get a little love. And like to D's point, it's the playoffs, right? So it's a close series. The games are close. So, you're going to get some questionable calls. It happens on every play, right? You know what I mean? But, I mean, it's the obvious ones that you don't want. Like I said, Embiid was frustrated from not getting the call on the other end. Therefore, he chops out the legs of Mitch Robinson again, which is a very, very dirty play. I think, he definitely should have gotten ejected for that. But again, as we said earlier, they're not going to do that. They're not going to have the Knicks be up 3-0 on that and take out the most polarizing star, last year's league MVP. They're not going to remove him from in the playoff game. Not at all. So that's not going to happen. And so we know that. So like I said, I think this series, honestly, this series will at least go a minimum of 6. At least a minimum of 6. And if it goes 7, not bad. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. It's a good series. It's good to see. But again, I don't know about these other guys though, man. You know, Mac, what's his name? Tobias Harris. Scrap, I don't know what's up with your boy. That dude is complete. He's Thursday morning pickup, curbside, trash. Trash, bro. That's when they come get my garbage on Thursdays, right there on the curbside. They pick up Tobias Harris every week from that spot, son, because that dude, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? DiVincenzo did the same thing to him in New York earlier. Yeah. But Scrap now, come on, Scraps. You don't want to start sounding too like, you know what I mean?
He's a homer.
It's all about the refs.
He's a homer.
Yeah, he's a homer. Like, come on, Homer Simpson. You can't be Homer Simpson, bro. You know what I mean? You're talking a lot about these refs. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Game 2 could have went either way. I still felt he should have, corralled the ball in a lot better. That was Maxey. But he did get fouled on that play, and that foul should have been called. You know what I'm trying to say? And the way the whole sequence went. But again, y'all gave up that offensive rebound too. So y'all gave, because when Hartenstein came in here, got the offensive rebound in that game too, you can't allow that either. So you still got to play basketball. You got to play through what the refs are not giving you, even though it's legit, but they're not giving it to you. So you got to play through that. You know what I'm saying? It makes no excuse to give the Knicks a second opportunity. And that's really where y'all blew it at in that offensive rebound that they was able to acquire.
So you say you think that the Knicks 76ers series is going to go at least 6 games?
At least 6 games. At least 6.
I think 7. I think it's going to go 7 games.
Okay.
Embiid from a point standpoint, except for I think game 2, he looked like he was kind of not himself, but he still had an impressive game. I think they will, if they win the next game and tie it up, I think the Knicks might be in some serious trouble.
Right.
I do understand that New York, Madison Square Garden, Mecca of basketball, that's very important. And I think for the big picture, what's hurting potentially, and I think everything to a degree is connected. This is going to be one of those Don Spiracy kind of off the rails a little bit. With so many superstars that are out of the playoffs already. So think about this.
Yeah.
Faces of the league. Now, Brunson is a good player, and the Knicks and what they represent, and you know how they always say, NBA is always better when the Knicks are in it, just like they say about the Lakers. In the next week or so, LeBron's going to be out of it. Kevin Durant's going to be out of it. Steph Curry, never failure to launch.
Couldn't even get in here. Yep.
So when you go, Giannis and them are in some serious trouble.
Yep.
When you drill it down to who's the next superstar. Now, of course, you still have Luka. You still have Jokic. But those are foreign players. You have to think it, and even Embiid is. But I'm saying, you're starting to get limited in your superstar players. I think that bodes well for the 76ers to advance, especially if it goes to a game 7, because they need star power. That's just my, Saturday morning take.
That's a good. No, I agree with you there, D. I mean, from a Don Spiracy perspective, I don't know, like if you're implying that they need to keep at least a familiar star or someone there, because I think Embiid kind of represents the new guard too. Still, like I still think him and Luka and Jokic, they still represent this new wave of stars. Like the old school stars would be your Durant's, your LeBrons, your ADs, your Stephs, right? But now we're going to be left with the Shea Gillis Alexanders, right? The Sags and the Chet Holmgrens, and we're going to be left with those guys representing. And then of course Denver will be around. But I kind of see Embiid is still part of that newer group. You don't see that? You feel that he's part of an older guard, or what is it?
I think Embiid is more in the eyes of people. I think Embiid is closer to LeBron. Hear me out. He's closer to LeBron than he is SGA.
Yeah.
So if you're talking superstars, he's more SGA. As well as he plays, people still aren't giving him his just due. Someone just said, I forget who the person said, it was Stephen A. Smith, now that I remember.
Okay.
If Embiid was healthy, we would be saying he's the best big man to ever lace him up. So of course, Stephen A it's going too far.
Yeah, of course.
But if you think about it, yes, Luka, I think, is on the other side of being what we consider a superstar, right? I think he's a superstar.
Oh, yeah, Luka's definitely a superstar.
Right. Jokic is a superstar.
No question.
Embiid is a superstar. SGA, we ain't even putting Chet in that. SGA, the jury's still out. People don't trust OKC, even though they're the number 1 seed. Everyone's still kind of squinting and how they do it, and I don't know. So those type of stars, of course, if Giannis is out, right, and it's looking like, think about Indiana. Okay, Halliburton is a great shooter. They have a really good team, but there's no superstars on that team, right? So I think a lot of people the jury's still out with those. So Embiid as a superstar, and if you compare the series, Brunson and Embiid is the bigger superstar, right? And Philly is not as big as New York in the market, but it's close enough. So if you combine that, I think if it goes game 7, 76ers is coming out of that.
I agree with you there. Because now in that sense, from what you're saying, if it goes 7 and something is really on the line, I think it'll go in favor of the other Sixers, because people are going to want to see Embiid. It's good for the league to have him going further than Brunson and Knicks. But the Knicks, I don't know. I mean, just from their market alone, and they do bring a lot to the NBA. I mean, the NBA does well when the Knicks are doing well. You know what I'm saying? That's a basketball market that you need to have, and to have the Knicks go deep into the playoffs doesn't hurt the NBA either. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the Sixers are not as polarizing. I mean, Embiid definitely is the staple there, but I don't know. I don't know. It could go either way, D. I agree with you 50-50 on that, because I still think the Knicks carry something with their market that the NBA
of course
want to see.
Absolutely.
So so we'll see.
The stars are going to be there. You got the Panthers, Peanut, Spike Lee. He's going to be there. You got other, and if you think about LA now, but remember, star power wise, you're losing because LA is cooked. We're about to talk about them. They're
the Lakers are
so you're losing that big market, Denzel Washington and Leo DiCaprio. Everyone's sitting, you're losing that. Yeah. So the Knicks, you still have that on the East Coast. You still have the stars and celebrities sitting courtside. Right. So maybe there's something to be said about that too. We'll see. That'll be interesting how it works out. Let's talk about the Lakers. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Okay. In this series, let me start off with giving my flowers. Anthony Davis, in my opinion, has showed enough that the Laker brass can make the decision to make it his team. And when I say make LA, the Lakers, his team, move on from LeBron James. I think LeBron James now at this point, as great of a player as he has been his entire career, is more of a distraction than he's actually adding to it. He's a great player, but I think you have an opportunity to, and probably they never will. It would have to be LeBron James making the decision, but they probably need to move on from him. And, I don't know if I just see when I'm looking at the series, LeBron James hasn't played game 1 and he was pretty good. But overall, he hasn't had the scoring output necessary to beat them. Down the stretch, questionable calls, turnovers. Anthony Davis I have to say, there has been no zigzag with him.
Yeah.
He has played very well.
Yeah.
He has matured. He's watched the show. Yes. He's made some improvements. Now, zigzag with his posture, he has taken up.
Okay.
Everybody knew that this was the worst matchup for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And see, pride comes before the fall. And so instead of them maybe taking that L and being matched up with OKC, who I really think they could beat OKC.
Yeah, we would have been able to beat
them. There's
no
answer for Anthony Davis.
No question.
So you would have dropped to the number 8 seed.
Check. Yeah.
Right. Drop to the number 8 seed. Hopefully, Denver, there would be a matchup problem with Denver, and maybe it would be a long series with Denver. Maybe you would have to see them, second round, or maybe things would align where you would see them in the Western Conference Finals, something like that. Yeah. But to take them out the gate was a bad decision. It was a bad decision. And of course, just like anything else, you have to use strategy. Part of sports is about schemes and strategies and coming up with what puts you in the best position to succeed.
Right.
And,
agreed.
And clearly, facing Denver in the first round was a bad idea. The
Absolutely.
problem I have with Anthony Davis is how he threw Darvin Ham under the bus. Darvin Ham, whether you like how he's coaching or not, you're saying all of the coaches on the sideline. Now, my understanding is players execute. Coaches coach, but players ultimately have to execute. If you only touch the ball once or twice in, 17 minutes of a game and you lose when you were already on fire, that's not on Darvin Ham. Clap your hands, demand the ball. As a big man,
I agree with that. I concur with that too.
So you can't make it all about, well, the coach, it's off-putting. Like the coach didn't, there's times where we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. Rebounds, you don't know what to do. I mean, that should be second nature. It should be like, brushing your teeth. It should be like just basic, how you do it. You've been playing for so long. You are a champion. There are certain things that you can't put on the coach. Now, the Lakers put out that Darvin Ham is coming back next year. I do not believe that. I think Darvin Ham is going to get paid next year because they're going to fire him and he's still going to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to be back next year. What I do think is, of course, they're down 3-0. Lakers are, even if they squeak out a win,
the series is over. Yeah,
it's over. You're not going to be able to beat them, 4 straight. It's a wrap. They're a superior team, and there is real talk. And then D'Lo was at the end of the bench looking at his phone and eating popcorn.
Oh yeah, he's gone too. He's going to opt out of his contract. He has a player option, so he's gone. Yeah,
and so
which I don't blame him. That's cool.
No, I don't. I don't blame him. I don't know what his market is, right? Because
he'll get more than 18 million probably, though. I think D'Lo, there's a market for D'Lo. D'Lo, he'll get a market. He has a market because he's a good scorer. He can score the ball. He actually had a really good season. It's just the playoffs is where he fades, particularly against Denver. That's just Denver. He just psychologically, he just can't seem to get it together against Denver. He did have a good game too. But I to speak to your point about the Lakers, I feel the Lakers need to blow this whole thing up. I think it's time. I think LeBron needs to, if he's coming back, what they said he is. I just feel he doesn't need to take the salary that he's taking. If you want to get the right kind of team, first of all, this team, the way it was constructed, right? There's so many players that this is a very deep team. We have a very deep team. But the truth is, Darvin Ham doesn't know what to do with these guys. He doesn't. The problem with Darvin Ham, he doesn't understand rotation. He doesn't understand how to build the right chemistry with the guys he has. We didn't get into a solidified starting five until February. And he finally decides to start Rui Hachimura in February. Hachimura should have been starting since the beginning of the season. Now, granted, I understand you didn't have Vincent. Of course, you didn't have Vando, who was out for all intents and purposes most of the season. When he came back, he played well. Our defense was picking up. We was winning games, but then he got hurt again. So then that obviously hurt a lot, right? Then you got what's his name got hurt. Christian Woods got hurt. Okay, you pull Cam Reddish. Reddish got hurt too, but you kind of pulled him out of the rotation. He was a very good defender for us. But the truth of the matter is the Lakers never got a rotation. We should have never been in a situation for a play-in to begin with. The Lakers could have easily been a 4th or 5th seed team if we would have been playing well throughout the season. You got to get it right early. You can't wait until March. Then you want to go on a, 22-5 run, you know what I'm trying to say, or win, 11 out of the last 13 games and think you're doing something like, okay, we got momentum going in there. That's not going to help you because you're still playing a very good team. And the Denver Nuggets are a better team, younger, quicker, faster. They're bigger. and they have, again, chemistry. You see how they stick to what works for them. That's what you're seeing with all these teams that have their building. With Indiana, you look at OKC, you look at the Mavericks, you're looking at Minnesota. There is a core, there is a nucleus, and they know how to play role players. The job of a head coach is not to coach the stars. It's to coach the role players. If you get the role players in alignment with what their assignments are and how they are to support D, guess what? Now you've got what you need in terms of a team that knows how to function. So when you look at Denver, so you got a Caldwell Pope. You understand what I'm saying? You already know, Gordon and these guys and Porter, they know what they're supposed to do. They know where they need to be and how they're supposed to contribute night in and night out. They know that they are second to Murray and Jokic. But the Lakers, after AD and after LeBron, we don't know. Now, Reeves has played well, I think. He's played considerably well. He had a good game the other night.
Reeves is trash.
Reeves disappointed this year. He did not live up to what he did last year. So I think the expectations may have gotten a bit overwhelming. And then he did play in the Olympics this past year. So I don't know if that kind of took something out of him a little bit. So he didn't play well. Actually, D-Lo actually played better than him this year, if I have to say, in the regular season. But Reeves is still a good piece. I like Reeves. But I think you got to blow everything up. Either trade, let guys go, and you got to get money. LeBron, you can't take $40 million and you're still paying AD. And then what do you want to get? You're not going to get a third star. You're not going to get quality players as ancillary pieces because you're eating up too much of the cap. So what are you going to do? And I think it's unfair. If you're LeBron, you got to say, look, if I want another chip, you know what? Give me 20 mil and I'm good. You're a billionaire now. If you're really about the team,
you really think LeBron's pride is going to allow him?
No, it's not. You're right, and that's the unfortunate part. That's why the Lakers, in my opinion, they need to blow this thing up. They really do. And you fire Darvin Ham. I hope your report, D. I hope that there's no truth to it in terms of what they say, because the Lakers are just they just don't have it. And Ham is just not a good coach. He's okay. He's a better assistant. He copped the ring with Milwaukee on the bench there under Budenholzer. He won a chip as a player with Detroit when they beat my Lakers back then. And what year was that? 2005 was it? I believe it was, or 2004 actually. So my thing is this. Look, again, I'll throw it back to you, D. The Lakers, you have to blow this up. You have to blow it up. And the problem, and here's the contrast between this season and last season. Last season, the Lakers had defense. That's what got us to the Western Conference Finals. It was our defense. We sacrificed the defense this year for more offense. We can score like crazy. And we actually shot very well from three this year and in the playoffs. And LeBron had a career year shooting from three. But we sacrificed on the defensive side. And now we've lost a lot of that. And I don't care. AD is right in what he said. I don't think he blew Darvin Ham on the bus. And let me say this too. Okay. Draymond Green, bro, you have no credibility. I'm not trying to hear from you. Anybody that punches their teammate in the face, you call out players all the time, your teammates, you scrapping with cats, you yelling on the sidelines, you making your
causing your team games and
causing your team games and what? Yes, thank you, D. So what credibility you have? And you gonna talk about AD? Yeah, because you're a homer when it comes to Darvin Ham because he's from your side of the hood. So of course you're gonna have some preference and partiality towards him. AD, that's what a true superstar needs to do. And you know what true superstars do, D? They get their coaches fired. That's what you need to do. That's what superstars do. They get their coaches fired and they get the guy that they need. That's what great players do. All right? And that's what AD needs to step up. They need to turn the keys over to him. The only thing AD has to do is he has to fight through injuries. The last 2 years, that's what he's done. He fought through injuries. And that's what, because he would get the littlest nick, and then he'll just. I think AD was lazy. That was my thing, D. He was lazy. So, but now he's like, yo, I need to play. I can play through this. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna grimace. Why every time he falls, he's like Embiid. They have a contract 10 times at least. You gotta fall. Again. You know what I'm saying? 10 times a day.
You gotta shake your hand out.
You gotta shake your hand out.
You gotta look up to the stands. You gotta do a whole bunch of stuff.
You gotta grimace, all that. Yeah. So
I don't agree with you. Now, granted, Darvin Ham is not a great coach, right?
Not at all.
I do think, and to his credit, I will say this: what do you expect him to do when you set up and you have personnel that is dealing with injuries. I think the Lakers are a deep team, but remember, they're comprised of players who can play defense and can't score, and players that can score and can't play defense.
Correct.
So you have to mix it up. You're not going to have a lineup of what works, because depending on who you play, scoring output may be important, but they're getting ate up on defense. Like, listen, if you look at D'Lo, he's a scorer, but he's a defensive liability.
Absolutely.
Reeves could score. Defensive liability.
Absolutely.
So you have Vando, but Vando's only give you 6 points. That's not going to help you. So, and I think the mix of
it would
injuries,
help if he's there, because you got so many other scorers that can make up the difference for his lack of offensive output. So, you don't have him on defense. Like, in other words, and I agree with what you're saying. Now, I'm just adding to that by saying that yes, he only may give you 6 points, but at least his defense is so overwhelmingly good that you got other guys that can score to make up the difference. You know what I'm saying? At least that's, but I see your point, but go ahead, finish your thought on that.
So I just think that, yes, Darvin Ham, when you disappoint, when overall the season is disappointing, when you have AD play 77 games or something, 75, 76 games, the biggest thing to me, which I think was the determining factor to this series, is game 2. When D'Lo shot the way he shot, LeBron and AD played the way they played, and you lost that game. By the way, Anthony Davis falling into the crowd, that is...
I saw that. Yeah, I saw somebody do a little clip on it.
That was, it was...
That's those are signs to let you know, like, it is bad.
Was like when Embiid, when Kawhi Leonard hit that and Embiid just fell to his knees and was crying. Yeah. Certain points, that reminds you of, AI walking over Tyronn Lue. It's like certain parts, and that is forever going to be, a meme or something funny, because it just... And I think he was tripped, but it was just how he just kind of fell into the crowd.
Then he just disappeared. The crowd.
He just disappeared. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man.
I think there's going to be some major changes. But there's one more thing, and I want to get your opinion on it, then we'll move on.
Okay, sir.
There's talk that LeBron may not be as loyal to the Lakers because, of course, Bronny hit the transfer portal. He also made himself eligible for the draft.
Yep.
So if he decides to go back to college, it's not going to be USC. It might be somewhere else. And then LeBron might be more obliged to go elsewhere. He may not, even though I find it hard to believe, because LeBron has so many things going on in LA and on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But of course, anything else, he has a jet. He can travel and do whatever he wants, right?
Of course he can,
especially if a team sees the market value in the importance of bringing Bronny along, drafting Bronny.
Right.
That might draw LeBron to play with him, and especially if it's a small market team, that might be attractive to get that star power, superstar, great power to come to your team, even if it's for a year or two.
Yeah. Definitely.
But we'll see what happens, man.
I agree with you there, but I think you're right. And LeBron's only gonna look out for LeBron at this point in his career. He's gonna look out for LeBron. So there's no loyalty to the Lakers or anything. He's trying to set the course for his son, and wherever that lands, that's where he's gonna go. And it's simple. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's okay with that. And we appreciate LeBron. I don't think we got a chip. And unfortunately, him and AD just weren't healthy enough during the tenure.
And in-season tournament championship, don't.
It's still a ring. If anybody else won, they would have gotten it been the same thing. If they didn't mean anything, then why play it? Why did everybody?
You get a ring for that?
Play for it.
You get a ring for that?
You get a ring for what?
The in-season tournament?
Oh, you said in-season tournament. Oh no,
don't minimize that.
Oh, you said the NC. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the bubble play.
Two championships.
Yeah, they won
a championship and a half.
Yeah. It's laughable, but I'm not gonna get.
They put a banner up for that, right?
I think they did. Yeah, unfortunately.
Nice.
Yeah, they had to because the league made them because the league needs that to have some gravity. So they made the Lakers do that. Trust me, Lakers wouldn't have done that. I honestly believe they would not have done that. Jeanine Buss knows that would have been just devastating to the legacy of her dad and the Lakers lore. It's you don't do that, but they had to. Adam Silver made them do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about another superstar, another great player that is on the cusp of being eliminated. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
done.
They're done.
Wrap.
They're done.
Yes, wrap.
Minnesota. I'll tell you this. Minnesota it's going to be very interesting if Denver and Minnesota meet. That's going to be a series.
Yeah.
That's going to be a series because you do have a deep team, 2 deep teams.
Yeah.
You have size. You have, star power.
Yep.
That would be a really, really good series. Really good
What?
series. As much as I don't like Karl Anthony Towns, I don't like Karl Anthony Towns.
No.
No, I don't like him. But I think it would be a really, really good series with Gobert and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, playing Denver, you mean, right? Going against Denver? Yeah, that would be great.
A really good.
I like Denver. I don't like Mike Malone. Of course, I want to see him get crushed. I want to see him. Yeah, I want to see him. I like Jokic. I like Murray. I think they're very humble guys. They play, they don't bother me. They don't get on my nerves. They're not punchable faces or anything. But Malone.
Wait. What about Mike Malone bothers you?
Mike Malone is a trash talker, and he's arrogant.
Okay.
And he feels like you're not Phil, you're not Pat Riley.
Why can't he be the best Mike Malone? Why can't he just be the best Mike Malone?
No.
Why does he have to be them?
Because the thing is, these guys win on levels that you can only imagine, and they were very humble in their way of winning. And even though Phil
wait a minute, hold
little
on.
subliminal jabs here and there, but Phil was able to. But by the time Phil was able to do that, he was at that level to do that. Look, you want a chip, okay? You want a chip. Granted, yes, you want a chip, but you want a chip. You don't have a dynasty there. We don't know what the Nuggets are going to become as far as a team that's going to be dynastic. Jokic is still young. Right now, clearly would arguably say the best player in the league. He's a 2-time league MVP, possibly 3-time. No question about it. He's good. But learn from your player. Players is even more humble than you. And you talk about beating the Lakers. First of all, the Lakers are not the Lakers. If we're going to just be honest. They're not that team. They got bad coaching. They got the supporting cast is average or below average at best in most situations. So you beating up on a 40-year-old LeBron who's still playing. No. Listen, what I'm saying is, I'm not making any excuses.
Yes,
I'm not making excuses. But what I'm saying is, you talking crap, and you hate the Lakers so much so, right? Like as a matter of fact, you don't even talk about other teams you beat. Except you do that with the Lakers and LeBron. And first of all, I don't care.
Let me tell you why.
You can beat the Lakers 20 times in a row. You ain't never going to compare to what LeBron has done in his career resume-wise. Okay, Mike Malone? So come on, knock it off, bro.
I don't like
You beating it. Come on, you beating this Lakers
now
team.
He's a 40-year-old. Now he's 40 years. Now he's a 40-year-old.
What I'm saying is you beating LeBron on the back end of his career with a team that clearly is not as good as the teams he's ever played on before through his career. And I'm saying you got this somehow you become so whatever it is, your affection for LeBron and hating on the Lakers and calling them, your their daddy and all this stuff. Like, yo, bro, come on, man.
Let me tell you why. And I'm gonna give you a few reasons. The disrespect, the Mike Malone's approach to the Lakers is because of the media, Laker fans, and just
we earned that.
The culture. The culture of, even though Denver displayed themselves as being a superior team, they still didn't focus on the greatness of that team and focused on the Lakers. So Mike Malone's approach, in my opinion, is I'm going to beat them to powder so you realize that we are a really good team. If you remember, Hachimura played against Jokic and had Jokic had like a really good half. They switched Hachimura on him, and it made, I think we got something. And instead of them saying, this is a really good team that we have to respect, more of the highlights were focused on a team that lost the game, but they were like praising them in defeat, as opposed to respecting Denver as being a formidable
But they didn't
opponent.
earn that then. But they didn't earn that. Denver wasn't.
Have they earned
gotta
it now?
earn that.
Have
Well,
they earned
now
it now?
they've earned it. Now they've earned it. But again, you still don't have more cachet than the Lakers as an organization. And they still got one of the greatest
does that
players
have
in
to
this
do
era
with
with
them
LeBron
getting
James.
beat to powder? What does that have to do with that?
Well, what it means is that what I'm saying is that Mike Malone tends to have this awkward affinity to want to always call out the Lakers. And he always has to take his shots against the Lakers. So my whole thing
you know
is,
what it is?
listen,
It's
why
the
you
time that you figure out how to beat a bully, a media bully, a team bully, and then when you do,
but that's
you
right.
turn into the bully. Now they're bullying the Lakers. They dominate the Lakers, and
But the media
Lakers-
bully got nothing to do with the Nuggets, though. We did not. In other words, the Lakers earned that, right?
Did you started off this segment saying, Mike Malone, you're not Phil Jackson. You're not. That's carried on in the media. The way the questions are formed, the press conference. Listen, instead of them saying, hey, Mike Malone as a coach, you figured out a way to neutralize Anthony Davis, neutralize LeBron. Instead, it's more a backhanded comment or compliment to them as to what are they not doing so you're successful.
But all Mike Malone is doing is adding more fuel to the fire that he claims he doesn't want to see. So when you keep coming back at the Lakers to try to spike the media to say, hey guys, y'all need to focus more on our ways of winning, and we're the champions now, and y'all are still talking about, right, well, all you're doing is giving more shine to the Lakers, and more you talk about, oh, we're your daddy, and all that stuff. So what it does, because we're the ones that's bringing something to even though the Lakers haven't beaten them since 1775, the truth of the matter is the Lakers are still bringing the interest to the series when it's all said and done. Because again, you got LeBron, you got the Lakers, AD, all that stuff. They have nobody on that team in the Denver market at all. It's not attractive enough for people to really have something to talk about in that series. I mean, if they was beating Dallas or they was beating, Utah, let's say in the first round of the series, it wouldn't matter. So what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Mike Malone, you're actually making it worse by giving more attention to the Lakers by having so much hate towards them. Like you beating up on the Lakers team
he's showing haters, you would say, to them, and he's actually he's backing up what he's saying. So I think that's effective. That's an effective way.
But when you say things like, oh, we played them all year long and then we still ain't see anything different with them. Like, okay, you're gonna so now
that's
okay.
True. That's true.
Well, I mean,
11 in a row. 11 in a row tells you.
Right.
They haven't beat him since 2022, December of 2022. I think he's a truth teller. I think he's a truth teller.
Mike Malone is the new punchable face for me in the NBA. I hope Minnesota. I hope Anthony Edwards scores 65 points on them and just thrash.
And he may, but they won't win.
And
let me ask you this.
I mean, Denver's the better team. I mean, I would if I had to put money on it, I would bet Denver. But at the end of the day, no. But I would like to see. I think it's a good matchup, though.
It's going to be a great matchup. And let me ask you this.
Yeah.
There was one of us had a team that didn't beat a certain quarterback for, I don't think ever beat them, or their record they might have they never beat them. Never beat this player. And he was on the back end of his career. The next show, when said team beat said quarterback, who is arguably the GOAT, there was so much air in that person's lungs. You remember that? When the Cowboys finally beat Tom Brady,
tell you why, but
how did you feel?
I didn't feel anything. I'm gonna tell
you
why.
Let me see if I can go back into the archives.
Let me see. I'm gonna tell you, D. You know why? Because we beat a Tom Brady who was in his early 40s, who was playing on that team had a losing record in the playoffs.
How is it different than what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, but we didn't go. Okay, that's me. But what I'm saying is, nobody went up there. Mike McCarthy didn't go up there and dack him to go, yo, we beat the greatest player, and you know what I'm saying, the Buccaneers ain't what they used to be, or whatever. Just taking these shots at the Buccaneers, knowing that team was not good. That was a bad Tampa Bay team, even with Brady. That was a bad Tampa Bay team. So you're beating a Laker team.
What's the Lakers' defensive efficiency, even with LeBron and AD? They're not really good on defense.
No, they're not. They're not, and that's
so
what
very similar.
My point. They're not a good. So why is Mike Malone taking some type of a victory lap about beating a team that really, in all honesty, is really not that good? Everybody knows the Lakers really, at the end of the day, they're a mediocre team. Even with AD and LeBron, they just, because the coaching is bad and the ancillary players are not that good. So Mike Malone, what are you gaining out of that? So okay, you got your chip. You beat a Miami Heat team that you was better than last year. Miami didn't stand no chance. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just the East didn't produce much, and they still ain't got nothing to produce. All right, because I don't think Boston would beat them either. But they may stand a better chance out of any team coming out of the East. But at the end of the day, Mike Malone, you sound stupid. You sound corny, taking your shots at the Lakers, a team that you're already better than. It's not even a team that was beating you and then you overcame them. They're not gonna understand that. But you were already better than them. So you're not gaining anything by talking about the Lakers in the way that you do. And the Lakers don't even care. LeBron don't care about no Mike Malone. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Corny coach. He out of here.
I think he's a great guy. I think he's
I know you do. You probably think he's yeah.
He's a great guy. I don't have a problem. I find no fault. I find no
fault in this man. Give us Barabbas. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about all right, so Kevin Durant, we already know that series is a wrap. What do you think about, and then we're going to kind of talk about the NFL really quick before we wrap up. What do you think about Boston playing with Miami? Like, listen.
You say that again. Say one more.
What do you think about Boston? Boston clearly is a better team. It's a superior team.
Yeah.
Do you think that in some instances, Adam Silver wants these series to look good and wants them to kind of drag? I think when you think about it, Boston, fully healthy, deep team against a Jimmy Butler-less Miami team, you shouldn't lose a game.
You shouldn't.
So you think that's some funny business, or you think
I
were
think
able
that's
to
just
muster up?
I think they can muster up. I think Boston is a team that will falter to scrappy teams like the Heat. They will falter to teams that have a will to fight and win. Because Boston, again, is, to me, Jaylen Brown and Tatum are guys, in my opinion, they're not mentally tough. And they're not guys that really know how to take their will to another level. They got skill, but no will, if I can put it that way.
Oh, that's a bar.
That's a bar right there. That's the least I could give us, since we haven't had a show in a while. I'll give y'all
right, exactly.
But that's it. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I was a little thrown back because I didn't even see the game. When we pulled into the hotel that night, I'm looking at the screens in the hotel lobby, and I'm like, oh snap! Boston actually lost this game. I couldn't believe it. But the reality is that but that's Boston for you. Now, will they win the series? Yes, they will. Is there any truth? I don't think in this series. I think there might be something more. Maybe it could be in the Knicks series in Philly. Maybe Adam Silver might be, having a few whispers with a few people like, okay, look, we need this series to kind of, stretch itself. Corey just texted about a half hour ago. He's saying he's hearing Embiid could get suspended for Game 4 tomorrow. So I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, got to look that up. Yeah.
Wow. So that happens, that would be major.
That would be major. That would be major. Yeah, and I think that would definitely not be a good look. I don't think nobody wants to see that. I think we all got over it with him. It's bad to see Mitchell hurt because he kind of re-aggravated it. I think he got hurt in another area. Another part of the game.
Oh, so he actually got hurt from that.
Mitchell got hurt, and he came and he still played after Embiid pulled him down, but he was wobbly because that was the surgically repaired leg that he had. Then he got hurt again a few plays later, or a little bit later. Then that's when he ended up exiting the game and didn't come back. So the aggravation started with Embiid.
Everyone has surgically repaired knees, huh?
Yeah, man. So I guess Embiid was like, I don't want to be the only one with that type of, I need somebody at least, on my level. But nah. But I think Boston will win that series. But that's Boston, though, D. I don't think that has anything to do too much with the NBA. Maybe want to extend. Not that series. There's a lot of good series you could extend, but not that series. Nobody wants to see Miami without Jimmy Butler anyway.
But there's a lot of 3-0s. That my thing is there's two major series with superstars, great players with 3-0s. That you ain't gonna be able to, you're not gonna be able to extend it 7 games, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how it all plays out.
What the NBA is gonna need to do? They need to start. What they need to do. I'll say this last point. I'll throw it back. They need to start promoting these younger guys now. They're gonna have to find a way to get their marketing up.
Well, Anthony Edwards, he's starting to get a major shine, rightfully so.
Rightfully so. That's him, SGA. These are the guys you better start promoting and pushing now. Yeah. This is it. Because the old guard is gone. KD's not winning another ring. LeBron's not gonna win another ring.
Kawhi is hurt still.
He looked trash last night. He only took 9 shots. They're not gonna Kyrie. James Harden.
Kyrie
looked good last night. No, Kyrie's still balling. And Denver and Dallas has good defense. I just don't think Dallas will overcome. But Luka is still your guy, right? I think he's still the face of that team. So again, these are the guys you got to start. You're gonna have to really take their marketing to another level. LeBron and those guys are done now. You can't, you can't. No, there should be no teams anymore looking to add a Bradley Beal and a KD to their squad to make them better. Nah, them days no one. Nobody should. You should stay clear of those guys. Stay clear of KD. Stay clear of Beal, Chris Paul, LeBron, all those guys. Stay clear of those guys. You're not winning with
you. Put Kevin Durant and LeBron in the same conversation with Bradley Beal and
because as far as formulating these super teams, you those guys, you're gonna form a super team. You're gonna need these younger guys. This younger group of players is they're it. That ain't it with LeBron and KD, Beal, Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, we're not winning with those guys. Remember, there was a day not long ago, right? When you was trying to get the Kyries and get all these guys together. Them days are over now, man. Look how these teams built their teams now. OKC built their team. Minnesota built their team. They got these guys from the draft. They built them up. Now they're formidable young teams that got futures. They got chemistry with these younger guys.
Minnesota did make a major. They made a major trade.
Well, to
that everyone was scratching their head about.
Right.
But it's seeming to pan out. Remember, they gave 17 picks for Gobert. They got Gobert got Minnesota.
Yeah.
Got 8 players or whatever team. Utah.
But he's not the core, right? The core of their stores.
To be a defensive player.
See, that's different, right?
He's a vital piece.
He's a vital piece, but that's what I'm saying. To me, that's okay because your core is still your Edwards and your Cat. What I'm saying is you can't make KD your core anymore. You can't make Beal your core anymore, and these up LeBron your core anymore. Those guys, that's over with now. Those guys are done. You can't even make Kyrie. Those guys are not your core anymore. You can't make those guys. You can't say we're gonna add some players to these guys, and these guys are gonna take us to the promised land. Not gonna do that. Steph ain't gonna win again. It's done.
I think very much so. I think Kyrie is a vital piece to Dallas in their success.
No, he is. He is.
I saw the value in him still. Not everyone on this show did. And as a result, his play has elevated them because it takes, believe it or not, Luka is the face of that team.
Yeah.
Having Kyrie on your team takes pressure off you. A lot of pressure.
We saw it last night because he balled out in that fourth quarter. No, you're right. I don't disagree with you on that. I didn't think he was going to get a max deal. I think that's where our argument was. Can Kyrie get a max deal? When they traded him to Dallas, was he going to get a max deal after that? I don't know if I can't, excuse me for not remembering his contract situation.
His money is good. I don't know if he got
Did he sign a new deal with Dallas or whatever? I think he did, but I don't know what it was for. I have to pull up his.
He might be getting, I don't know, 35, 40 million a year, something like that. He's paid. He's paid.
Oh no, he's definitely paid. He's paid because he's no longer under that contract Okay, he signed a 3-year deal worth $126 million to return to Dallas. So that was last year. So the beginning of this year, that was his contract. So yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. So that's about what, the 30 million, I guess. 3, 6, 9, 12. About 30 million or so a year. 30, 35, 30, 31, 32 million a year when you average it out.
3 years?
It's 4 years. It's a 3-year. My fault. I'm going by 4. So, no, 3 year. Yeah, 3 year for 12. Okay, so that's 40 million. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
76 over the 1976 was a good year, and 1924 and 1942 they made a hit. Yo, 40 million a year. I don't know what's going on with the back.
I was doing 4 years. I did 4 years.
About 25. Sorry. All right.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, listen.
$10 a week. Right.
Right. Carry the one.
Carry the one. Right.
Taxes 8.25% in New York. Yeah. Listen. It's he's making good money, and I think
a good amount of that too. No state taxes in Texas.
No state tax, so he's really eating.
He's really eating.
He's really and he said they embraced him.
Yeah.
Of course, the owner, Mark Cuban, he's smart. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's always has his ear to the streets. He understood. He said they embraced him. They embraced who he is as an individual.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban seems like he's an outside the box.
Yeah, he's outside the box kind
progressive
of thinker
type
of guy. Yeah.
They respected him. I think even with his religious beliefs and Ramadan, I think they took an approach to that, and he thrived.
And he thrived, and he works well with Luka. Luka loves him.
Well with Luka.
Yeah, no,
it didn't look good at first, right? But of course, it takes time for everyone to kind of get in where they fit in. They surrounded them with some scrappy players. The center that played with Washington, Gaylord and Galford. He's actually been really good.
Yeah, he has.
They have a good shot. I don't think they're gonna win anything.
No, they won't. But my point in all of this, D, like if you look at the Nets, to me, the Nets messed up when they blew up that young nucleus they had. They could have been in OKC. They could have been Minnesota when they had Jared Allen, and when Dinwiddie was there. You had LeVert. You had a young core guy.
Get Dinwiddie.
Well, back then though, I hate Dinwiddie. Trust me, he's on the court. I cannot stand. I think he is a waste of basketball existence. Bad. I'm not saying his life. I'm just saying basketball.
He's a waste of cornrows and a dribble. He's terrible.
He's terrible. He's
a terrible player.
He was horrible with the Lakers this year. Horrible. So no.
And he was.
But back then he was a little bit better though. He was a little bit better. Back then
we could tolerate him. Yeah, and we blew up the team. You're right. We had.
They should have kept that as a good.
We had we had a really good team back then. Scrappy, hungry players, and maybe if we had added a superstar down the line, we would be what the Knicks are, right? We'd have some bigs. Right. We would have some scrappy players, and we needed a star to kind of put it all together. But the problem is with that, because if you think about, and we're not playing tennis with back and forth, but when you think about what the Lakers did acquiring Westbrook, right? All of the really young players that they got rid of to get Westbrook, it's a very similar thing. Right. This is kind of the way the Nets are now, bottom feeders, is a result of swinging for the fences, trying to get build a super team and take players that maybe are a little long in the tooth, and maybe it's more name recognition and chemistry and all of that stuff, and trying to make it work. Very similar to what the Lakers did. They tried to swing for the fences. Hey, we're going to get our, I'm going to tap my foot. I'm not going to have the patience to let something mature. I want it now. So let me get Westbrook. I'm going to pay him a ridiculous amount of money, $46 million. I'm going to bring him in. And these young players that, if I have a little patience to develop them, could probably serve us better. Right. We got to get them out of here. So the teams that are successful, for the most part, are homegrown teams. They're teams that take their bumps and bruises and kind of work. That's what
OKC. To me, I think they got the best front office in the entire NBA. They draft well and they develop well, and it's you're right, and I agree. There's no patience in letting these guys grow. It's nothing better than looking at a fun young team win some games. Yeah, and those teams are fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? Fun to watch. So yeah.
All right, real quick, let's talk about the NFL.
Okay.
Cowboys.
Yep.
All in. They haven't done much. No, listen, that's not what I said. I said this. These not my words.
You know, I just hate when you repeat his words because the way you always say it.
He said we're all in. This is an all in. And then there's been, this obviously in Jerry Jones's mind, there's levels to being all in. Now we think the comment all in is pretty much, it is what it is, right? It's all in means for most people, hey, I'm going for it. This team is close to being a championship team. I'm going to do whatever it takes at this point to get us over the hump. Clearly, there hasn't been much activity. I think you drafted 3 players in the draft so far.
Yeah, we did.
And I think you kind of try to, and what you're doing is because there was a great exodus from your team, you're trying to backfill and replace, major pieces that you're missing. Which, of course, all teams should do.
Absolutely.
I will say this. I want to be on the record. April 27th. Dallas is in trouble, and Dallas is maybe teetering on being the 3rd best team in the East. NFC East. I'm telling you. Washington, you got to watch out for Washington. Washington
you got to.
Has made major improvements.
Who did they take at number 2 again? Who did they take at number 2?
They took the quarterback from LSU.
Okay. Yeah. Cat from LSU. Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, listen, Magic Johnson, them tweets are coming. Those tweets are going to come because Magic Johnson always tweets. For those that don't know and maybe not on X, Magic Johnson always tweets or put something out when the Lakers lose. He's very candid about it. He'll call players out, and what are they going to say? He's Magic Johnson. He's already super excited. Magic is a winner. And of course, we know Washington's history, bad ownership. They have a group that has taken over Washington, the Commanders, and they're about winning. Think about what Magic is, to the Dodgers. Think about everything that Magic has touched, right? Has been successful. And so I don't think Washington is going to be no different. And the Eagles have already, for the most part, have improved. I think they have made some major...
they have. Yeah, they have.
So the other team who is the only team we don't...
And the Giants picked up a good receiver too.
Giants picked up a great receiver. I actually got to see him play. A few of my brothers from the church went to a Stanford game, and we saw Stanford and Washington. Shout out to my boy Ryan, who got us tickets. We went to see him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Oh, man. He's pretty good. So, but that's not enough because you don't have a running back. So you got
and they have a running back.
And you don't have a running back. Now, if you still had Saquon Barkley and a receiver, then it takes the pressure off of Daniel Jones. The new receiver called. They asked him, "What do you think of your quarterback?" He said, "What did he say?" Jones Daniel was he didn't even know his.
He didn't say his name right.
He didn't say his name right. So you already know. They showed him when you first get to the facility, and everyone's like, "Hey, welcome aboard." He's looking like, "What am I doing here?" So he's not. He doesn't appear to be happy. He had Penix as his quarterback, so he's used to a live arm. Daniel Jones ain't it. Daniel Jones is, I'm going to look at my first read and then I'm going to run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's coming off an injury, so there's a lot of things.
Yeah, he's not. He ain't it. He ain't it.
Interesting.
They're going to move off from him. They're probably going to draft the quarterback. I still think the Giants will. In the later rounds, they'll probably just get somebody in there.
But who at this point? Why would you wait?
I don't even know who's out there. But I mean, but they'll place. I mean, I'm sure it's in the cards for them to move on. I forgot who was their coach now. They still got Dayball. Dayball got fired.
Dayball.
And the coach.
Dayball's the coach. And there was talk. Remember at the end of the season that there was a lot of turmoil. How he coaches. If he's a yeller, he looks like he's a yeller.
It looked like he's a yeller. Yeah,
he looks like he's a yeller.
He gets red.
And so I think that there was a little bit of issues with that. So we'll see. I think you guys are in trouble, man. I'm going to say this.
On paper, but I still think we did lose a lot. And I honestly, I don't think some of that we're going to backfill at the level we had. Hopefully, we pray that these draft picks, these guys will step up. I'm still very concerned about our D tackle position. We definitely need to get more in the linebacker. We drafted the linebacker last night. Supposedly, he's pretty decent. I think the steal of the draft so far is the kid we drafted last night, the offensive lineman, the tackle. He's really, really good, and he can play center. And everybody's saying he was the steal of the draft. And they were surprised that he even fell as low as he did because
this is Dallas media that you're talking.
No. Everybody.
In Dallas and Arlington
everybody.
Saying
Cooper Beebe. No, a lot of people are saying it. No, a lot of the pundits and the strategists and those that are analytically breaking down these guys, they mention him. In fact, Dallas got an A- in their draft from last night so far.
Okay.
Up to this point. Yeah, cool. We got an A-. Yeah, we did. They're like, and the other kid too that we just our first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see. He's good too. He's big. He's long. He's a tackle. So I don't know if he's going to come in from what they want to do is make him. But he was a right tackle. They're going to move him to left tackle, which I don't understand. You should put Tyler Smith to left tackle. That's really his natural position. But they want to keep him at left guard, where he did make an All-Pro. Okay, he was All-Pro last year at the left tackle position. I mean, the left guard position. But I think he needs to be kicked out, and you move the new kid into that spot. That's really what you want to do, and then take the kid we drafted last night, make him a center, because he can play center. And a lot of people are high on this kid. So we're hoping, and he could be Zach Martin's replacement, because he actually plays right guard. So he could be Zach Martin's replacement when Martin retires at some point. So, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we'll see.
Look who joined us, James, our UK affiliate, man. Long time no
see. James heard us talking some football. James said,
he was like, I don't care about none of that NBA
stuff. I'm all football. What's up, James? Good seeing you, brother. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Listen,
are you going to talk about? I want to hear your thoughts about all this. With your Debo and Ayuk. And so you got James with you now. I'm sure James got some takes on all of that.
Let me tell you.
What's your thoughts? I'm gonna sit back and sip on this one. What say you?
What I thought was going to happen if one of the two needed to go. Now I will say this: Arizona State. Arizona State is they produce good receivers. Brandon Ayuk, and I know you don't care about any college tape.
No.
But watching this new receiver. He has the footwork. He coming in and out of breaks. His hands. You listen.
I'm not saying. I
trust the process.
What does that tell you, though? I'm saying no.
What that tells me is this.
I believe your assessment of him.
What that tells me is this. As I explained to you, Brandon Ayuk is a first-round draft pick. He is not going for no second and third, and we'll give you a third and a fifth. Not going to happen.
You say he's
Brandon
a second
Ayuk,
round at least.
What I said is, if one of them between him and Debo had to go, you let Debo go. Let Debo go. If you need one of them to go, let Debo go. But it appears, and of course the draft is still going on, that they're going to keep all three receivers, which tells me that they're going to pay Brandon Ayuk. They're going to give him an extension. They're going to ride it out one more year with Debo, and then maybe trade Debo, because I think he might have 2 years left on his contract. And if that's the case, I think we're going to be those receivers and Jennings and still our tight end and running back. I think we're positioned to win now. And this is going to be our major window to really, really make it,
They were teammates, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And of course, Pershaw, I think his name is, he transferred to Florida and had a really good, but they were Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State,
Yeah, so I think that they're going to be, of course, the 49ers. Listen, when you're already a good team, you're just retooling. I don't make a big deal, especially if you don't need certain positions. I don't make a big deal on the first or second round. We had 11 picks. Some are compensatory picks. Some are in trades that we did. We actually, got a pick from Dallas in the Trey Lance. So we got picks. And I think because of how Shanahan drafts.
Yeah.
I think they'll pick up some really good pieces down the line. I think we'll be okay.
No, I mean, you got to trust Shanahan and Lynch and how they, build their teams. You guys do well with that. You get guys in there, you build guys up, and most of your good players are all homegrown players outside of CMC. So I think you got, and Trent Williams. So I like you got to put confidence in that. That's why I tell everybody with Dallas, I think Will McClay has drafted well when it comes to offensive linemen. If he picks an offensive lineman, I'm going to go with it, because the last guys we drafted number 1 as offensive linemen under Will McClay, they're Hall of Famers. They're potential Hall of Famers. Fredrickson.
Which is easy. It's pretty easy to draft. Statistically, it's easy.
What?
It's easy.
To draft offensive linemen as number 1s? These guys are to draft an offensive lineman as your number 1 pick, that's hard to do.
It's not.
How is that
Historically, the hardest position to draft is wide receiver. The easiest is offensive line. Those are the easiest positions to draft. So Will McClay, as much as you want to give him his
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, you got to give me some insight.
Look it
up.
up.
I don't know.
Look it up.
I have to get it, because I don't know how that.
This was something that came out.
A lot of guys don't even pick offensive linemen as number 1s. I mean, it's not even a position that you can find running backs and offensive linemen and D tackles, depending upon how great, if they like coming out of Georgia, your Jalen Carters and those guys. Outside of that, you could find good offensive linemen in the 3rd, 4th round. Unless you're really like just all like this kid we got last night, who's a 3rd. This guy was all American. Like his resume is crazy. I'm not talking about some weak,
so college
athlete.
Matters.
He got college,
So now Brandon Ayuk's college tape doesn't matter, but this guy's college tape matters.
No, I'm saying I mean no, but what I'm saying is Ayuk is you seen him play. You're way more familiar with his college career than I was. But I'm just going by what we're looking at now. That's why I say, for me, the college players, no disrespect, I say this without any venom or animosity, so it may come off a little callous or a little rustic here. But I'm just gonna say, like, I don't really care what these guys do in college. Like, their college careers mean zero to me. You are meaningless to me until you put on an NFL helmet. Then when I see how well you play the NFL, then I can say, okay, he must have really been good in college. That's when I'll know you're good in college, when I see you play well at the NFL level. If you play well in college and you're a bust in the NFL, then what you did in college means nothing. Yes, I know it's a harder league. I know it's another level of competition. But to me, when you play well at the NFL level, then I can say, okay, he must have been good at college. Ayuk is a really good receiver. So I'm not surprised when you say how good he was coming out of college, because he's shown that in the NFL. But I just still believe that he was a byproduct of his environment in San Francisco with the other weapons. I don't know if he can go to another team like Diggs went to Buffalo and become a guy that's going to be where all of the attention is on him and still perform at a high level with high numbers. That's the only thing I have yet to, I don't believe he has the capability of doing. I think he needs to be part of a system of other good players, and he contributes on a really good level. I just don't think he's a number 1 in that sense. CeeDee Lamb has nobody else. There's no, you got Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks, who barely even touched the ball till week 10. So, I mean, and CD balled out. So CD, he's a true number 1. And you didn't even have a real running game either at all.
Did they what extension? Did they sign him to an extension?
No, they will. I mean, we gotta get guys. We gotta get the draft in and everything. And they're gonna sign CD. There's no question about it. CD said I'm not worried. CD said I'm here in Dallas. I want to be here. I want to stay here, and they're gonna get the deal done. Then
you think about Micah Parsons, who
I don't think they should sign Dak.
They did a 5-year option with him, right? Micah Parsons. Who? They didn't sign him to an extension.
No,
they just
no. Yeah, they picked up his 5th year. Yeah, and Mike's okay with that.
You think so?
But again, I think the problem with Dallas is that's where you mess up, because again, Dallas do not sign their players early in their rookie contract. When you see they signed Zeke too soon, sooner than they should have, but then they signed Dak too late. They're signing CD too late, and they signed Micah too late. So you're gonna
tell you.
You're gonna
see
pay.
That Amon St. Brown signed a huge contract.
Yeah.
77 guaranteed And then AJ Brown signs a huge contract.
Yeah, so
78 or 79.
Well, he has 84 guaranteed. So yeah.
So obviously, CeeDee Lamb is going to want more than 84 guaranteed.
Yeah, he is. But the thing is that
like that. He is. He's going to want more than that. Is that what you're trying to do?
No.
Jerryism? Take a hometown discount?
Problem is going to be on the year. See, AJ Brown got a 3-year. You don't mind signing guys for shorter years. That works in the ownership's favor. Players want longer contracts. So CeeDee Lamb is going to probably want to get at least a 4-year deal. It's the same thing with Dak.
No.
Dak wants,
I don't think,
because it don't hit the cap as much going down. See, they want to spread that money out. So
longer contracts.
But is that what I said, or did I say it backwards? I'm sorry. Okay, my apology. I meant to say a longer contract benefits the owners.
You want the short, so you can go
right
back
wants
at that
short.
apple. Right.
Yeah. The player wants. So that's what I said. So AJ Brown got a better deal for him that works for him on that shorter deal. But if he's going to get more money than AJ Brown, Dallas, I'm sure, is going to want to put some more years on his contract. That's what they would like to do, so they could spread that money out. But either way, I do think he's more worthy than AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a great receiver, no question.
And they were able to also sign Devontae Smith. So can you have two 20+ million? I mean, Devontae's getting $25 million a year. So can you have two $25+ million receivers on your team? Absolutely. And they have a quarterback that's getting paid major money. So yeah, it can be done. You just have to draft well. And so that's why I do think Brandon Ayuk ultimately, and I'm hoping, will get an extension, and we'll have a too high priced, wide receivers.
So what do you think Brandon Ayuk is going to do, though? Say if they don't sign him, right? He still has another year in his deal for the $14 million, right? That he'll take his final rookie year deal for 14. What is he going to do? Hold out? I mean, he's going to play, I would think.
He's gonna play.
If I'm the Niners, I'm letting him play. If I'm the Niners, I'm not signing him to another. I wouldn't sign him. Either you're gonna trade him or you're gonna let him play. No, but I'm saying let him prove himself in another year. Like I just think 1 year to me, and I'm not saying in that
it hasn't been 1 year.
The body of work.
He has made improvements every year, and what we don't want to do.
Pro this year. He was an All-Pro. Right? Did he make All? Well, he's a Pro Bowler, right? So he got some accolades.
And what we don't want to do is, the people are just late to the party. What we don't want to do is then be in a position where we have to really, really overpay him. We need to appreciate his skills and pay him earlier, because what if he balls out? Now think about what he had yard wise and catches and yards after the catch. What if he now has a 1,600 yard season? You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna lose.
Well, he's gonna walk. He's gonna hit the market, because now you got no protection. So you're gonna either have to offer him a lot of money, or he's gonna end up walking. You get nothing for him, right? So that's why.
That's why, of course, I want you to say, if I was them, I wouldn't want to sign him. I'd just let him prove himself. No, he's proven enough. He's young. He has a really good work ethic. He's a tough receiver. I think he's proven enough. I think we need to, make that happen.
Well, what is James saying here? Does he feel like, James, do you feel like they should be signing Ayuk? James did say something interesting. He said he's surprised they kept Jennings. I agree with that. I'm surprised they kept Jennings, because he could easily be replaced by this new kid y'all got.
He's a good possession receiver, though. And you need, he when you think about it, maybe that was more so thank you for what your contributions, because if you think about it, in the Super Bowl, he was a vital player. He played really well. And in the playoffs, he was that third down kind of possession receiver. He was like more of a kind of a safety blanket for, Purdy. I mean, even more so at times than Kittle. So I think it was, and then the other thing with BA, he has really good chemistry with the quarterback. So they have an opportunity to really, really grow together. And I don't think you want to kind of mess that up. I don't think you want to jack that up. So
no, I agree with that. I don't know. I just think that's money that could have been gone. That could have gone elsewhere. Whatever you paid him, I don't even know what his contract was. I'm sure it wasn't a lot of money, but I'm just saying that's just money to me.
Exactly.
best wide receiver on our team? Who's
Yeah.
Defoe? You talking about Debo or who's Defoe?
It's probably Debo.
You meant
You
to say
said
Debo.
Are you saying Debo or are you saying definitely? I thought he was saying definitely best receiver. I don't know.
Maybe he could be saying definitely. Okay. Yeah. Clarify that for us, James. We're interested in knowing what that.
Because I don't think I personally. That's where if James says Debo, I disagree with him. He's not the best receiver on our team. I think Brandon Ayuk is the best receiver.
I don't know, D, y'all struggled without him last year, man. Do you remember the losing streak y'all was on? Ayuk was on that team playing when y'all was on that losing streak. Debo was out, and then Debo comes back, and that's when y'all begin.
It wasn't just about Debo. It was Trent Williams.
It was Williams too, but
who's more important, Trent Williams or Debo to that team?
I would only say Trent because Trent's the best one on your line. You have other outside weapons, other specialty players with weapons. So yeah, I would say Trent. Definitely.
Exactly.
Who Ayuk?
Ayuk, right? Is it Ayuk, James? I think James is. I think we've had this discussion before.
I mean, a purity receiver, yes, but a guy who gives defenses problems and creates matchup issues because of his style. I mean, of course, it does hurt Debo because then how he gets paid and how he gets used adds more risk to injury. But I'm saying when he's, Trent was out too. No, Trent
that was
and Debo,
the reason. And that was the reason. More so than Debo was Trent.
But Debo plays amazing. When Debo is healthy, Debo is a really good player when he's healthy.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say. And he can catch, and when he gets those tunnel screens and just runs by. I mean, and he can catch and get balls out the backfield. Like, that dude is a beast. Like, to me, he gives you way more dynamics than what Ayuk gives you. Ayuk, again, he's gonna give you a crossing route, 17 yards down the field. He's your guy that's gonna spread the defense. That's what he does. He's an intermediary player that's going to catch the ball, quarter field catches or long ones. That's what he brings. But he don't give you nothing else outside of that. You know what I'm saying? At least I don't see it. Now maybe I could be wrong. I would trust y'all a little more.
Well, you're definitely wrong. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But I don't think. Yeah, Debo don't suck. Come on, James. You see how y'all are, man. Now all of a sudden he sucks. That man has been a vital reason for the success. Even before CMC got there, he was a vital reason for the success in that offense, okay? When y'all had Garoppolo and playing with bad quarterbacks and stuff. Okay, Debo, come on now. Is he injury prone? Yes, I will give you that. So there's concern there. But let's not disrespect that man's body of work there in San Fran, okay? And it hurts me to say that, but even I have to come to the man's defense. Y'all can't say that, man.
Listen, I didn't say he sucks.
James says he sucks. Like, you know what I mean? All right, no, Jennings sucks. All right, not Debo. If you're gonna say somebody sucks, I mean, I'm saying if you're gonna pick out of the two, you can't. You giving the accolades to Jennings, like, you know what I'm saying? He's good, but he ain't. If you gonna call somebody who sucks on a 49ers wide receiver core, you can't say Debo.
I would say
prone, that's all.
The pecking order is BA, then Debo, then Jennings. That's it.
I don't know, D.
All right.
So what was that pecking order since Ayuk has been there? Where's that pecking order? Was he ever the number one option over Debo all the years except this past year when Debo got hurt? And yes, he got slowed down a little bit. He didn't have a tremendously great year, but he still played well. You know what I'm saying? But who was in that pecking order then?
Oh,
okay.
Debo. Of course he was. Because they were using Debo. They were using him as a hybrid player. They weren't using him exclusively as a wide receiver. They were using him as a running back. They were, and thank you. We got Debo can't stay. This is a Cowboy fan that's talking. You missed all that we talked about the Cowboys, but I'll bring you up to speed really quick. Cowboys will be the third in the NFC East. Thanks for joining us.
People said last year. Everybody said that last year too.
Yeah, but they didn't have a quarterback last year. Big difference.
Oh, you talking about Washington?
Washington. Man coverage. Like the Chiefs, Debo won't get the ball. We get zone 70% of the time. Purdy is forcing teams
Jalen is a rookie. We got to see. He's a rookie. Their quarterback is a rookie. Washington's quarterback is a rookie.
Which was a rookie, right? How was Dak's rookie year?
Dak had a
From
really
the-
good rookie year,
Okay,
but he
so
had
it's
a lot of help. But he had a lot of help. I mean,
So
not
Les
Washington.
Brown's-
Washington has pieces, no question about it.
So Les
But,
Brown,
I mean-
as Les Brown would say, it's possible that he could have a good season off the rip, right? Dak had one, right?
No, he did. He
Okay.
did. But
So why
Dak
we
was
making it
carried in
far-fetched?
that. But Dak had a really good season, no question. His rookie year was a really good rookie year. He balled, he did. But he also had an all-world running back, all-world offensive line. Okay, he had a all-world tight end and a good receiver and a Pro Bowl receiver and an All-Pro receiver and Dez Bryant. So he had a lot of help. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Jalen is not coming into that situation. Although I do like the wideouts that they do have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got some nice pieces
They got
there.
a good receiver. They have a really good receiver.
And Debo 15. Let me see. Am I reading this right? Debo. Just want to make sure I'm reading this right. This is 2023 stats. Okay, regular season stats. Okay. And Debo had as I'm looking here, he had 60 receptions. Okay, 60 receptions for 892 yards. I think that's pretty good. Not to mention he carried the ball as well. 37 carries for 225 yards at 6.1 yards a pop. So when you talk about what he brings to the team, I think we got to be a little careful.
He was better than Speed and Feed, is what you're saying, huh?
No, he was better than Speed and Feed. We didn't have no feed, and we didn't have no speed either last year. Because, Pollard just didn't have it last year from the injury after Fred Warner broke his leg with the drop tackle that's now been banished. But what I'm saying is that Debo was playing a significant role, and he had 60 catches. Brandon Ayuk only had 15 more catches than he had. 15 more. That's it. And Debo missed games, and he only had 15 less catches.
Well, availability matters, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Say it again.
Your availability matters, right?
Yeah, it does. Of course it does. And that's the only knock you can have on Debo, but he was not.
15 more catches. Can you tell me how many more yards he had than Debo? With 15 more catches?
Well, the 15 more. But remember now, Debo missed games, though, D. So you got to take
that's not my problem. If he's not available, no use to us.
But when you put it in context, having 15 more receptions to a guy who missed virtually, 2.5 games because he got hurt in the Cleveland game, right? He got hurt in that game. So he missed the remainder of that game. Midway,
and he could have came back. We had a discussion about he could have come back, and one of the games Debo got hurt, he could have came back, and we actually wind up winning that game. But you don't want to give me the
No, he had 1,300. Brandon Ayuk had 1,342, and Debo had 1,892. Right? So what's that? Roughly what?
You said 1,892 or 892?
892. I said 1,892. Jesus, 892. I'm sorry, 892 in receiving yards, and Debo had 1,342. And receiving yards.
My case is made.
So he missed 2.5 games. Did he not miss 2.5 games?
So when we
only have 15 more catches, you don't think Debo would have made up for that difference in production if he was playing on the field?
Possibly.
And y'all did lose those games without him. Yes, Trent was gone too, but don't think that it was just Trent. Because y'all can lose games with Trent as well. I'm just saying, Trent is a major factor because he's clearly your best offensive lineman. The rest of y'all line is kind of average at best. Y'all ain't got a great line. It's just that, you scheme block well and everything left. You got guys that, y'all are just a disciplined team. But Trent Williams is all world. No matter where you put him, no matter where he plays, he's going to be all world. That's not everybody on your line. So what I'm just trying to say is him not being there.
What line is all world? You have an all-world line?
I mean, Dallas has had an all-world line for many years. Not as of recent,
how many Super Bowls y'all got?
For the last.
How many Super Bowls y'all? How many playoff with that all-world line? How many Super Bowls you got to?
We didn't get to any.
Okay. How many?
But at the end of the job, is it
how many
about winning them? It's about winning them. We didn't get to the NFC championships either. We didn't get to the NFC championships.
How many playoff wins? Can we just go?
We only got 2. Actually 3. No, we got. Yeah, 3. Since the Fredrickson, Zach Martin, and Tyron Smith era. Yeah, and we had some other good Pro Bowlers too on our line too. You know what I'm saying? During the Romo eras. But we only got 3. I would say 3
playoff wins.
Yeah. 3 playoff wins. That's it. Over the last 15 years or so?
Yeah, I think Brock Purdy might have more than 3 playoff wins in finished in just 2 years.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, y'all didn't win either. Y'all still didn't win a Super Bowl, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, but still, yeah, your production.
We're a
was
lot
better.
closer. We're a lot closer to it, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Did they give out a close award? Did y'all just have a cell? Was there a parade in the Bay Area that we missed for a close award? For the close award, was there a trophy? Did they get the Lombardi Junior Award or something? I don't know.
No.
They must not invited you to that party. I don't know.
We were just the losers. We were in proximity. We were just closer in proximity, but we were losers nonetheless.
Right.
It's all good. It happens. But I like our chances. I think that we're, you know, the later we have, I don't know, another 6 or 7 picks in the draft, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll come up with something and you know, be a good team as always. But one more thing before we go.
Okay.
I am very happy that Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was
he's
long
still
overdue.
Still keeping his case though, this defamation case.
He should
against the NCAA. I agree. He should. He should.
He absolutely
he probably
should.
lost a lot of bread for that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course he did, because you know, there's talk that they're going to, and I think of course there was some scandal even with Pete Carroll, but of course Pete Carroll was smart enough to get out of Dodge before it really hit the fan. Yep. You know, but I think to make it right, I think if you know you show out, you need to, and I think the NCAA showed out on him, and they went beyond the call of duty against him and vilified him. So I think that they giving him the Heisman Trophy is only one step. I think it's a step in the right direction, but I think they also need to make it right as far as, you know, restoring him. He needs to be restored back to
his original creation.
Needs to be, right. Yes. He needs to be restored back to you know, how he views, because as great of a college player as he was, he was tarnished. His image was tarnished, you know, as far as, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, but he never got it. And you know, being in that's a fraternity all in itself. You know, Heisman Trophy winner.
He missed a lot of money for that.
He missed a lot of that. He missed
a lot of money.
And I think he needs, you know, he needs some get back, and hopefully he gets it, you know? So
I'm glad that
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they restored that to him. He needed that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Because the universities don't ever pay. It's the players that get hurt. Just like the Fab Five, you know, taking their banners down and stuff. Their Final Four banners and stuff. I think that was, you know, that wasn't right. But anyway, yeah. So good point, James. I hear what you're saying about the zone and the man-to-man coverage and all that stuff. And I agree. But again, Debo has still been a guy, and Shanahan's schematically has been able to put his players in position to overcome that, because y'all still had a good running game for the most part. Even when y'all with Elijah Mitchell and when y'all had Mostert and those guys, y'all still ran the ball really well, and you kept defenses honest, even in the way they had to attack y'all with the scheme. So, you know, and Debo was a great part of that. I think you just can't dismiss that. Ayuk had a really good year, but this is his best career year, and I think that's
well, yeah. I mean,
but he's not a guy that's been
to the next, right?
Say it again.
It's the best. When you say it like that, it's the best thus far, right? It's not like you would say best career. The way you're saying it is saying best career as if the next year was a drop off. So that was his best year. It's best year thus far. I mean, each year he has progressively gotten better.
Yeah. No. I'm not taking away from his trajectory. I think it's good.
Don't try to say it that way.
I mean.
Don't try to say it that way.
Don't try to say it that way. I'm just trying to say. I mean, you know, I'm saying any kind of way. I'm just saying what it is. You know what I mean?
I think Chicago, if we're talking about teams that should be really, really good, Chicago should be really good. Yeah. Really, really good. I mean, they receiver-wise.
They got some receivers.
Oh, my goodness.
Caleb plays well. Yeah.
I wasn't thrilled about the nail polish on the pinkies, but if he plays. What's going on, man?
Listen, man.
That's gonna be another long show.
Yeah, that'll be another long show, man.
Because we're already.
Yeah, we're already over time, but man.
Come on, Caleb.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah, hope somebody pull him up. pull up on him and you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, bro, nah, we don't do that here on the South Side. We don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he already was getting somewhat called out by his teammates. Like, don't come here with that Hollywood. We're like pretty much a.
Really? Is that what they said?
Yeah,
Somebody
it was like, because Caleb he's used to being a superstar, and he's coming.
Yeah.
He's in the USC market.
I
Of
am
course, he
concerned
transferred.
about that with him.
And then
He
also,
gives off that vibe like that, though, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like he might be.
A little prima donna,
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, he comes
Yeah.
off like, I don't know. Something about his personality I don't particularly care for. I'm not talking about him as a person, I don't know him person. I'm just saying, but he gives off just what you said, that he's always in the limelight. He's used to being catered to, and I think he's going to be trying to look for that in the NFL. And I'm going to tell you, when he gets rocked, because everybody gets rocked.
And especially
Welcome to
number one, you
NFL.
have a target on your back.
Target
And the
on
other
your
interesting
back.
thing is going to be this. I think he lost. Everybody is comparing him, whether rightfully so or not, comparing him to Mahomes because he is his accuracy outside the pocket. He's an amazing player when you look at him on tape.
Yeah, no
I
question.
think they're making comparisons to Mahomes. The problem is, and what happened is, you've seen Mahomes hurt, limp, walk sideways to the sideline with his neck to the side. He would come right back in the game and tough it out and be amazing.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams lost the game, jumped into the stands, and had a towel of and emotion. We're okay with emotion, but he said he just wants to go home and cry with his mom and his dog. I think when you're going to the next level in the NFL, teammates don't want to hear that. They want to hear, if anything, emotion is good, but if anything, they want determination, anger. They want frustration. They don't want it to be go in the locker room and cry.
Yeah.
It should. He was in the stands with the towel over his head and his mom consoling him. And so that is something that he's going to have to outplay, especially he's not going to, the Dolphins or, a team that's more,
he's going to nice weather like it is in USC. Yeah.
Cold.
Cold.
I mean, October, it's cold.
Industrial city, that's
after 4
gritty,
weeks, it's going to be cold. And so those fans with snot running out their nose and all that stuff watching the game ain't going to want to hear and see you, crying and getting consoled at halftime because your team is down. So,
you're right.
You're absolutely right. The NFL wants warriors. They don't want, and to garner the respect from your teammates, they're going to want you to be a little more, and life has a way of giving you that tough skin and kind of. Yeah. So I'm sure going to Chicago, they haven't had a great quarterback since McMahon, right? And if you want to say McMahon was a good quarterback, he had that flair, he had the flair. They were successful. They had a really good team, obviously. Yeah. So they haven't had a quarterback. They've missed on a lot of quarterbacks.
Well, Rex Grossman also got him to a Super Bowl at least, but he's not, Rex Grossman will never go down as in Chicago.
But if you think about recent history, Trubisky and the dude from Ohio State.
And Justin Fields,
and now him, he has an opportunity to really be that guy.
Yeah, and he's got weapons. He's got weapons. He's got
no excuse. No excuse.
So, they can get it done.
You got Keenan Allen. You got the other dude that balls out. You got a really high draft pick in a receiver. You have who else? You got two good tight ends, Cole Kmet and someone else, and then you have what's the dude that went from Carolina and balled out there? He used to play with Carolina.
More.
Yeah, DJ Moore. So you got
Moore.
got receiving core. Your running back situation is good. Your defense, so you're all right.
Nah, you're all right. Yeah. No,
you're coming into a really good situation that I think now your division is going to be, it's not super easy. Detroit, of course, you got Green Bay, so you're gonna have to really, hit the ground running. But I think they got a chance.
They definitely got a chance. Yeah, you mentioned that kid Rome that they drafted, right? I think
he's really good.
He's good. Yeah. From what I've seen on the tape and stuff,
Yeah.
Again, we'll see what these guys look like when they come into the real big leagues. Like I say, it's Sunday over Saturday all day. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. I don't want to hear what you did and when you played against You know what I'm saying?
Pop Warner, right?
You know, ILM University. We don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, we want you to know we did, you know, and your Pop Warner and all that nonsense. You played against bad teams because they just needed money. So that's why they, you know, got you on the schedule. Listen, you're going to play. Every week is going to be tough, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm looking to see. So we going to see. That's why I say shout out to what's his name? Drawing a blank already. Jesus, with the Texans, the quarterback.
Oh, CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Good, you know, shout out to him, man.
Are they the best team in Texas? Before we go, are they the best team in Texas?
No, they're not.
Okay. Cool.
No, they're not.
The Mavericks are playing well. Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, Mavericks. Yeah.
Are
Mavericks is probably a better team. Yeah, Mavericks
are they the best NFL team? Are they the best NFL team in Texas?
Depends on your
See how the music died down and it was like thought provoking.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I mean, because look at you saw. I think Micah Parsons and CJ Stroud and everyone was.
I didn't really watch it. I don't like all that stuff. I don't care to watch that stuff. I don't like.
You don't like Micah Parsons?
I don't like players. I don't like you know, the podcast. They all sitting talking. I don't care for that.
You don't like LeBron James? You didn't think you said you were high on LeBron James, and
you know what? I haven't even listened to an episode. I'm just in theory, it feels like it'll be good because they're going to talk basketball from an analytical perspective. So I guess for me, that's a little bit more enticing and stimulating. But when I hear these guys talking, you know, all the love and all that, like, listen, when we play the Texans, I want Micah to rip CJ Stroud's head off. Like,
it won't happen.
And it won't. No, he probably might let him go. You know what I mean? Like,
he won't have a choice. I mean, they're really good. The Texans are really good.
No. But what I'm saying is, I feel like
Dallas is really bad.
Competition. Today's athletes are just too. I don't like it. They too friendly. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I like guys that don't like each other. I like guys that will. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, I mean, I don't like that, especially in football. Basketball. I didn't like it in basketball either, but even Magic and Bird had a lot of respect for each other and they was cordial with each other, but they did try to, you know, they legitimately try to beat each other. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like these podcasts. I don't like this. They call the new media. I mean, I like the stories and the stuff that they say. Micah, to me, I love Micah Parsons. I still think he's one of the best defensive players in the game today. And if anybody says otherwise, I think they just hate him or they just don't know football or haven't watched him. But I don't know if the
Texans have the best owner.
Well, the son is taking over though. It's not the father passed away. He's not. I don't even think he's alive anymore. It's the son. Yeah, the father passed away. Yeah, the one that wants to make the NFL.
McNair, right? Was it McNair?
Yeah, McNair. Yeah, make him an asylum and stuff like that. Yeah, he's not there. He's not there anymore. So it's a new guard, and you know they don't. Well, at least openly they don't think like their dad did. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the people think behind closed doors, but
so then I stand corrected then.
And they hired a black coach, so I mean, it's you know, so no, they do. I think they do have one of the better ownerships in team. Look, are they well more organized than the Cowboys? Yes. Are they looking like they can be?
Schultz told us about the zoo that is in Arlington. So yeah,
it's just listen, it comes with listen. But was he talking about the zoo when Jerry was cutting them checks when he franchise tagged them and then also gave him a long-term deal as well? So it ain't a zoo. I say, yo, miss me with all that. All right, everybody want to talk about all that stuff. Listen, you took the check and you got and in fact you got your bread because you played in Dallas. Okay, people make money when they play for Dallas. And nobody would have known who Dalton Schultz was if he wasn't in Dallas. Okay, so miss me with all that nonsense. And the Texans are a good team, but we don't know what they're going to be. They got to put it together again. Okay, Jacksonville, we thought they was going to do something. They got fished. All right, you know what I'm saying? A lot of teams will look good, and then come the second year when the expectations now are risen, and they got a target on their back. Now we're going to see. Nobody expected.
You think the way they played? Adding pieces, adding Gilmore. I'm not Gilmore, but Diggs. They're gonna play worse than they played last year.
No, they're gonna play better. I do believe they're gonna play better, but we still gotta see. We gotta see what happens with them. You know what I'm saying? And I won't. And if they have a bad season due to significant injuries, I won't hold that against them. because significant injuries are hard to overcome. Significant ones, okay? You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard enough to sometimes overcome depth injuries. But when you have, if CJ Stroud, God forbid, was to get hurt and he's out for the season or something like that, I can understand that. I won't hold that against them. But if they struggle and with 2 games over 500 and they get into a wild card or whatever, because a lot of teams are getting better, D. It's a parity league. Nobody is better than and the Chiefs are not even better than everybody. It's just that Mahomes is better than everybody. So it's Mahomes, and then it's the rest of the NFL. Everybody else, regardless of your position.
There are
it's
teams.
Mahomes, and then
there are a lot
teams.
of teams that are getting better. I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I just don't think Dallas, the Cowboys, got better. I really don't.
No, we did not get better. No, we did not get better. I agree with you.
So there is.
Yeah,
there
goes there's lots of issue, right? I feel you. I'm not. Listen,
time will tell.
I'm very impartial, D.
But
time will tell. Yeah.
Man, Rod, it was so good, man.
It's good, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It's so good. It will be more often.
Yeah, we've all been a little busy there and so forth.
It's been a lot of stuff going on.
But, a lot of going on, but we're here.
Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Yes.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio.
Hey,
we better watch out for the sophomore jinx. Of course. Of course.
I agree with that. Who's Padre? That's your man, right? Who's that?
Yeah. It's foolishness. It's cowboy foolish. He's a Cowboy fan. So what do you expect him to say?
He's saying sensible things. He's saying things that make sense. There's a sophomore jinx. Yes, that happens.
Accept the fact that a team has right in your own backyard, right under your nose, has come and become a better team than the Cowboys.
They had one good year. One good year. They had one good year.
It starts with one. It starts with one.
Well, and then we got to see what the second one is going to be like. So before we anoint them as the best team, and then not only that, they got to get some hardware. Okay, all right. You can't say they're the best team now until they get some hardware. Can we see a Lombardi Trophy? If I walk their facilities right now, what am I going to see? What am I going to see? A couple AFC South banners.
Oh, so now
that's in-game tournament stuff.
So I get it, but if yours is 20-something years or almost 30 years ago, I mean,
they had time to catch up. That's what I tell everybody. Everybody wants to say, and D, you need to use this as your argument too.
No, I don't want to use that.
I know you use your argument about getting to the Super Bowl, but you've been losing a lot. You're starting to look like the Vikings and the Vikings of the 70s and the Bills of the 90s. You're looking and the Broncos of the 80s. You're starting to look like a bad. Your winning percentage in Super Bowls have gone down. Joe didn't lose for y'all, man. Joe kept y'all winning. You know what I mean? He was your Michael Jordan. Now all of a sudden you're losing a lot of Super Bowls. You don't lost 3 Super Bowls since then. I'm just saying. So all I'm saying, you give teams time to catch up, and they haven't. The Eagles got 1 Super Bowl. That's it in the 30 years. Oh, Dallas haven't won since.
So the Cowboys are doing a service to the rest of the league to catch up. That's what you guys have been allowing. Okay,
that's it. That's all we've been trying to do. Because really, it's been us and the Steelers going back and forth as far as like the Steelers have gone up, and now they've got what? The Steelers got 6 chips now, so they got more than anybody.
The Patriots have any?
And the Patriots got 6 chips. Yeah, they do. The Patriots. Well, the Patriots is look, they've been running the league. That's a different. They were just a true dynasty for 20 years. Cheaters, but true dynasty. Did you see that documentary, by the way, on Apple TV? I thought it was very good.
I don't have Apple TV.
I thought, okay, if there's a way that you can, I'll send you the code. I will. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll send you the code so you can watch it. I think you'll find it's like a 9-part documentary.
Really?
It was
talking about what though?
I mean, D to the very everything. Brady, Bill, the coach, the players. I mean, down to everything. They get into all the Spygate, the Flakegate, but even from the beginning, and Drew Bledsoe was on there, his wife, like, it's a real deep documentary, bro. It is deep. It is deep. I mean, the stuff that they're saying, Aaron Hernandez, they go through his whole thing, and players talked about that. It was, and you got Rodney Harrison on there talking. What's his name? Was Lloyd Malloy, had a lot of stuff to say. I mean, it was getting into stuff they didn't like, what they did like, what was going on. Brady, you see Brady coming up in the ranks and how his whole career. It was, I have to say, it was very good. I'll give you the code.
What do you think about Kraft pretty much shooting down Bill Belichick and jamming him up from not getting a coaching job with Arthur Blank.
I didn't get the whole story on it. Give me just a quick.
So Arthur Blank contacts Kraft because it seemed like Belichick was a finalist for the Atlanta job before Raheem Morris got the job. I think.
Yeah, Raheem Morris. Yeah.
And Kraft told him, "Nah, you don't want Bill as your coach. He's, pretty much, I guess, hard to work with, or he's, I guess he's kind of set in his ways. Forget all the success that he has brought to the Patriots. He's kind of, and then that was the deciding factor. It was leaked that was the deciding factor that made them go on and not select Bill Belichick. And so, that has to be an awkward interaction if they ever see each other again. Of course they'll have reunions of Super Bowl teams or whatever. Like, are you gonna? I don't know if they have a ring of honor or some sort, but you got to think that Bill Belichick is going to be somewhat enshrined in Patriots, history. How do you then do that and then prevent him from getting a job?
Well, I tell you what, you're gonna see when you watch this documentary. It's not gonna sound far-fetched why he did what he did, as far as the what he gave, as far as a reference for Bill Belichick to Arthur Blank. Yo, I have to say I thought it was very good. I mean, just the insight, the openness, the stuff that they talked about, the players, the coaches. They get into the whole thing with Tom and his when he had the guy was doing all his stuff for him.
Yeah.
And then the whole issue, traveling with him, and that was a whole big thing, and what the team felt about that and everything. And man, it was, and I'm gonna tell you something, and I won't give it away, but you're gonna see, and we could probably talk about it later. You're gonna see where Belichick changed, because Belichick was very vocal, very open. He wasn't like this. He wasn't mumbling and grumbling and giving you one-word answers. When he started out, he was in his press conferences and stuff, very engaging. He was open. He talked, boom, 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 boom. But then you're going to see where it shifted. And then after that, that's when he just started to really just get, started to become a little more recluse in his demeanor. But yeah, it was good. It was actually, now there was somebody, I think some people called it a bad one. I think there was a couple of players that didn't like the documentary. They called it out and stuff like that. A few players. And you're going to also, which call is on there? He's talking as well. Malcolm Butler. They talk about that. They get into
I want to check it out. Yeah.
Everything.
I'm gonna make that happen. I'm gonna check that out. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. So I'll send you the code and you can watch it, man. Yeah. Cool. So all right, my
Rod,
brother.
Great show.
Always.
Shout out to Kingdom Creative for the production, Infinite Audio for the music. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yes.
All the comments. We are back.
Yes.
We'll catch you on the next show. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Until next time, everyone. Peace.